Good morning, everyone. Thank you so much for joining ONEgeneration's Health and Wellness Webinar Week. We are so grateful for you all just taking the time out of your morning to spend time with us and just to learn about some amazing topics and listen to all of these awesome presenters. My name is Niambi Cooper, and I'm the director of ONEgeneration Senior Enrichment Center, and we're led by our president and CEO, Jenna Haas. So today's webinar layout will be composed of us first having our presentation by Center for Caregiver Advancement. And then at the end, we'll have our questions and answers, but please feel free throughout the entire presentation to use the chat function at the bottom part of your screen. And there's also a Q&A box at the very bottom that you can use if you want to ask a question anonymously. And then there's also a section at the bottom that says raise your hand. And you can select that function if you would like to verbally ask a question. And then that way we're able to hear your voice. So whatever feels most comfortable for you. So this presentation is being recorded, and that just means that we're able to replay this video over and over. And we will place this video in our newsletter and also on YouTube. So you're able to see this continuously and able to share it with family and friends and just recall some of the information that will be provided for you guys today. So if you do not receive our newsletter, you can for sure go to onegeneration.org. And there's a section on our website that says newsletter, and you're able to input your own email. And then that way you will continuously receive our newsletters on a regular basis. And if not, if an easier option probably also will be if you could just give us a call at 818-705-2345, and we can get you signed up that way as well, whichever way you prefer. So today I'm super excited to introduce Susie Yu. We also have some more of her amazing team from Center for Caregiver Advancement. We have Andrea here and we have Isabel. So we're super excited just to have you guys with us. So the Center for Caregiver Advancement provides training to IHSS caregivers. So the presentation today will be give us a little bit more information about how this training is offered in 6 languages and is designed specifically for adult learners with varying levels of education. So the result of this training program is that it's been proven to improve care, reduce emergency department visits and inpatient stays, and all the while reducing caregiver isolation, loneliness, and depression. So this is a 10-week training that includes CPR certification, which is awesome. And this presentation will provide an overview of the training, qualifications to participate, benefits to the participant, and the results of the program. So Susie, Isabel, Andrea, we're super excited just to go ahead and get started. And we already have our first slide up. Thank you for being here with us.
Thank you so much, Niambi. Good morning, everyone. It's a pleasure to meet everyone. My name is Susie Yu. I'm the Senior Director of our Home Care Programs at the Center for Caregiver Advancement. As Niambi mentioned, I have my team here with me. I have Isabel Menivar. She is our field coordinator too, and she speaks English and Spanish. So if you're interested at the very end, we can definitely field some of your questions in Spanish, and she can definitely enroll you if you are interested in moving things along. I also have Andrea Garcia. She's my program coordinator. She supports in all aspects of admin, just make sure that the program keeps running. So I'm really happy to have them join me here today. Towards the end, when we do answer questions, these ladies will probably be better equipped than me to answer them. So have them with us. So we'll start. IHSS Plus Provider Training Program. So who are we? So we're the Center for Caregiver Advancement. And just in case you may know us by our previous name, we used to be CLT-CEC, a much longer acronym, which is why we transitioned to CCA, Center for Caregiver Advancement. And who are we? We are a nonprofit organization dedicated to providing educational opportunities to long-term care workers so they can build better lives and provide high quality care. We have found that the benefits of our program go beyond the classroom, and I'll touch on that later in the slides. Our vision is to build the workforce of highly trained caregivers that many Californians can't live without. Who do we serve? CCA serves 2 specific groups: in-home support services caregivers, which is our team, and nursing home workers in residential care and skilled nursing facilities, which is our other team, our counterpart. So what does our IHSS provider training program teach? you're going to learn valuable skills like body mechanics, nutrition, personal care, infection prevention, and receive a CPR certification. That tends to be the most popular module. And it's a free training course for IHSS caregivers, provided that you meet some of the qualifications, which I will go over in the next slides. One thing to highlight here is that our funder partner is LA Care. So one of the qualifications is going to be tied to that, but I just wanted to share that we have incredible partners in LA Care as well as SCIU Local 2015. So a little bit of the details around our training program. It's a 10-week training program. Currently, we're doing it online via Zoom. Previously, we used to be all in class exclusively, but when COVID hit, we all had to get pretty creative. So we're now online via Zoom. And in the future, as things start to open up and we all get comfortable, we will probably do a hybrid or both. So we will offer in-person options as well as online options. These classes happen once per week. They're 3.5 hours, and they usually are scheduled between Tuesdays and Saturdays, morning and evening classes. And we have this schedule because it turns out to be the best available options for our students. The other thing, as Nyambi mentioned, is we teach in 6 different languages. We teach in English, Spanish, Armenian, Korean, Cantonese, and Mandarin. Lastly, once again, our feature is that CPR certification. You receive that upon completion of this program. So our program requirements. On the left side is a little bit of information about the provider or the caregiver and the IHSS worker, right? This is the person that's going to be in the class. You have to be 18 years of age or older, and you must be a current IHSS caregiver providing care at this moment. So even if you were an IHSS worker in the past, but currently are not, that would not meet the qualifications. On the consumer recipient side, or the person who receives care, they must consent to the caregiver being part of the program. That person must live in Los Angeles County, and that person must be enrolled in LA Care Health Plan. Now, one thing to note here is even if your membership for your health plan says Kaiser or Apple, it may still be that you're part of LA Care. So I would strongly encourage you to check to see if it is still under the umbrella of LA Care Health Plan. Some basic tenets of our program. So this program is all voluntary. It is not required by the state for you to be part of this program. We just know that when you go through the IHSS orientation, there's some things that are covered, but oftentimes not a lot about the skills that you will need going into this role. And so this is all voluntary. We honor the consumer-directed model of care, meaning the consumer is the one that's going to guide and direct how they want to be cared for. Third is we strongly believe that new skills will be obtained through this program. There is a competency check. So it is a competency-based education. It is not a test. It is not an exam. I know that causes some people to shy away from this program, but it's just basically to check and make sure that you walk away feeling pretty confident about the skills that you attained in this course. Lastly, there is an economic enhancement, meaning there is a stipend. For the majority of our programs, upon completion, you will receive a $300 stipend. And basically this economic enhancement is to acknowledge that you as a caregiver has spent time trying to, move up on your skill sets. And so to honor that, there is an equivalent of like a dollar added to your hourly wage, and that equates to a certain amount of time for $300. So that's what that signifies. Just to go over really quickly, these are the modules that you will be learning in this program. So in the very beginning, we'll go over roles and responsibilities of the caregiver. Module 2 is actually pretty popular, communication and teamwork, because a lot of times caregivers tend to be providing care for a family member. And I think drawing that boundary between being a son or a daughter or a mother and being the caregiver gets pretty difficult. So we try to navigate those conversations and go over exercises that equip caregivers to being able to kind of delineate that role and create some healthy boundaries. We go over activities of daily living, personal care, infection control, and standard precautions, particularly now that COVID is here and we just have to be more cautious. Medication adherence, which is a favorite. CPR, AD first aid, nutrition, diet, and physical activity. We do an intro on vitals and home safety, and we go over LA Care's health plan model, meaning what are the resources available? How do you navigate and ensure that your consumer or recipient receives the information or resources that they need or connect to their care team? Skills assessment. So this is the competency-based exam or skill sets that we assess at the very end. And there's two pictures here. There's oral care. And so at the very end, it's kind of like a fun activity in which our students have to demonstrate what they learned in class. And so you'll see here that one of our students is demonstrating on false teeth, how they would go about cleaning their consumers' teeth and providing proper oral care. And in the second picture, that's not blood, it's red paint. And we demonstrate how do you properly, like the right amount of time, what are the different areas of your hands to ensure that you really did wash it thoroughly. Some benefits of the program. So once again, CPR certification, the $300 stipend after completion. The other benefit that our students often talk about during graduation is the ability and opportunity to socialize with other IHSS caregivers. I think caregiving is a unique occupation in that you're pretty isolated. You work in separate homes. It isn't a traditional workspace in which you have coworkers and you're able to talk to one another. Although in this COVID world, we are pretty isolated too. But this class allows people to connect with one another and really share some of the challenges that they go through in this role. So I think that's the friendships that you forge in this program is really phenomenal. I was at a graduation just last night, and many of the students asked if they can continue meeting after the program ended. And I think that's exactly what we want our students to gain from this program. As Nyambi mentioned in the beginning too, there is stress and depression reduction. So we survey our students at the beginning and at the end of our program, and we have often found that this thematically is something that our students share, that there is a reduction in stress and depression. The quality of care for the consumer is improved, and learning new skills to improve care in general. And I think one thing to say about the stress and depression reduction is twofold. I think being able to socialize, network with friends and colleagues is one benefit, but the other is I think going into a role where you didn't get trained or you may not know how to navigate and just protect your body as well as your consumers in even transferring them or proper body mechanics, and being able to walk away with that skill set probably does reduce a lot of that stress, physical, emotional, mental. So some of the values that LA Care has shared with us is that there's satisfaction among caregivers, there's an improved ability to perform caregiver functions, a better understanding of caregiver role, and a pride of accomplishment at graduation. We'll share some pictures at the end of our graduations. There's also potential for caregivers to help educate members on their benefits. So one great thing about being partnered with LA Care is that they provide a lot of information about what are the resources available, how do you reach and connect with folks at LA Care to be able to ensure that your consumer knows how to get those benefits, right? And then in the next slide I'll share, but improved outcomes in ER visits and hospitalizations is something that LA Care has highlighted about our program. This is probably a little bit hard to read, but in an analysis of 2019, we saw that there is a 60% drop in hospitalizations of consumers or recipients, comparing students that took the course versus those who didn't. So when we looked at consumers going into the hospital and staying in the hospital, there was a 60% drop, and then a 42% decline in emergency department visits. Here is a picture of our graduation. So this is definitely because it's via Zoom, but we have trained about 3,861 and growing. If we think about all the students we have trained over the past couple of years, it's probably closer to 10,000 at this point. But for this particular program, 3,861 IHSS caregivers in all the different languages. And here you will see our graduation. So at the top, you'll see what it was like when we used to be able to convene in person. It's a really fun event. Our students often will coordinate amongst themselves and order caps and gowns. And many have shared that while they may not have gone to their graduation or had the opportunity to walk at a graduation, this is a momentous occasion because they're able to do that here. For many of our students, they're coming back to school after many, many years of not being in a classroom. So that's also something to celebrate. And we've also, it's just a heartfelt, really touching ceremony. We do the whole pomp and circumstance. People come up, get their certificates, take pictures, and they often share with us what they took away from this program. And I will say, initially, some students are like, 10 weeks is way too long, 3.5 hours is way too long. But at some point in the middle of the program, at the very end, they're like, 10 weeks was too short. Can I continue to be in this class? When are you gonna have another training? So I definitely see that transition over and over again in all of our different classes. Thank you for joining us today. My name is Susie Yu. I'm the Senior Director of Home Care Programs. You are more than welcome to reach out to me. That is my email address. I also have Andrea Garcia, Program Coordinator, and Isabel Menjivar. And if you see this slide, this is our recruitment team. And you will see that each of our field coordinators speak 2 languages, and we have a larger team that actually speaks more languages. So you can reach out to any of these ladies, and then they will connect you with the right field coordinator with the language skills that you need. But we would love to enroll you, and provided that you fulfill all the requirements or qualifications to be in the program, we'd be happy to see you in our classroom. So I am happy to have our team answer questions that you may have. I do see something in the chat. Great. So any questions?
Thank you so much, Susie, and for that presentation, so amazing. I think we do have a question.
This program really just what I'm searching about 2 years ago, because a caregiver, I'm 70 years old, my husband is 85, and because of coronavirus in the ONEgeneration, I was getting ready to take, but because of coronavirus, and this is on Zoom, definitely is a God gift. I really want to take this class. So I'm going to contact with you. I've been waiting for over a year now,
Well, we'd love to see you.
Yes, because this all ONEgeneration, they give me I don't have anybody helping me. I don't have children, no family, only me, my husband, and I need to reach out. I really need to be a caregiver, how to take care of my husband. So I'm going to call you, okay? And I want to thank you for you show up, because right now I'm on the outside, I use the phone. And I just want to say, praise the Lord. He really give me an answer now. I really reach. Yeah, praise the Lord. Thank you for ONEgeneration. I will call you. Thank you.
Thank you.
That's
so wonderful. We do have another question. Do you assist the students in job placement?
That's a great question. So we actually have a really great working relationship with PASC. It's the public authority in Los Angeles County. And so on occasion, we've been able to refer them because they're always looking for folks that speak, multitude of languages. And particularly they have a backup program that they've launched. And so for that particular program, they've actually recruited our students. So in some ways, it's not a direct job placement, but we've definitely been able to connect folks with public authority.
Awesome. Thank you for those questions and comments.